This video will walk you through creating a new training class in Advanced Fire Data. Click Enter Training Class. Select the class type by typing in a few letters or by scrolling down through the list and select the type that you want. You can also click the green plus button and add a new value that will show up each time you want to create a new training class. The class description field is a small summary field describing the training. Enter in a start date time and an end date time. And you can go ahead and save your changes and start the class. Now you will see anytime you try to save something and there's required information, it will tell you what information you need to have in order to be able to save any class. The remaining fields on the Basic tab can be completed and filled out, and any that have a green plus button next to them can have additional entries added if needed. The required buttons are used in reports to count whether this class should be marked as a required class for personnel. An example of this would be monthly trainings, when personnel have to make a certain percentage of training classes in order to qualify for a tax abatement or low SAP or anything along those lines. The As Open buttons are designed to allow classes to show up in the attendance training kiosk. You can create a class ahead of time and then simply open the attendance kiosk and allow people to sign in using an RFID card or their accountability badges. The Objectives tab allows you to copy and paste specific requirements for the class, whether they're JPRs or other information describing the objectives of what the class needed to achieve. The Skills tab is based on OSHA requirements. You'll want to select multiple skills if multiple skills were used during the class. These skills can be added to each class, and then reports can be run showing which skills have been practiced over time. An example would be something like RIT training, car fire training, or hazmat training, all of which would use SCBAs. And this way we could see when personnel trained on each of these specific skills over a period of time. ISO categories tracks the 5 separate ISO requirements, and again you'll want to select multiple requirements if multiple categories were selected. EMS categories allow you to track national, state, and local training as well as online training. These categories must be tracked by the hour, and the total number of hours for each category can't exceed the total number of hours for the class. There's no duplication of hours in this section. Instructors allows you to add instructors into each of the class, and again the green button on the side allows you to add instructors on the fly if the instructor does not exist in the system. The Attendance tab uses our standard personnel selector when you click Add Personnel to the class. You can select multiple people, and again you can use groups which can be added to each person's personnel record to shorten these groups down to show you specifically who they are. And then you can also filter by station, unit, and shift, which will help you limit the list that shows up when you're adding personnel. Personnel can also be added through the attendance kiosk if you do that as well. Under the details for each person is a spot where you can say pass or fail, objective met, and whether or not they were excused for the class. You could say they did not attend but they had an excused reason, so you're giving them credit for the class without them actually being there. Click Save Changes, and you've created a new training class in Advanced Fire Data.